What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of No Hype. Today, we're going to be talking about the older brother of this little guy right here. As you can tell, standing right behind the homie Big Kahuna. What up? What up? What up? What up?
Doing well, man. How are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. So if you guys are new to the show, on Instagram, I linked up with the homie Big Kahuna maybe about close to a year ago. Would you say that's right? Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Who knows? But, you know, the collector world is small, and then the amount of people that have the type of collection that we both have in common is even smaller. So we just kind of linked up, became cool. We be chatting, always putting each other up on game, what's popping, what's coming out, this, that, the other. And, you know, we're always in contact, and we've become somewhat of friends, I would say, right? Maybe, no?
For sure. For sure.
So yeah, Kahuna lives all the way out in Arizona, and he put me on to this little guy. And as we were doing searches, we found out that they actually made a 3-foot, I know it's a little bigger than that.
1 second. They have actually, they started with the small one.
Don't break that pun, bro.
He's good. I know. Oh, you can see which one it was. Sorry. They had the small one, like you mentioned, the 8-inch. Then the second one I saw was the 18-inch.
Which is ridiculously big too, by the way.
It is. And so to me, it is ridiculously big, you know, just by this, but in comparison.
That's fucking crazy.
I just wanted, sorry to stop you. I just want to grab that other middle one. You got 3 tiers, right?
Yeah. Got little baby Snoop, and you got mid-grade Snoop, and then you got the high-grade Snoop.
There you go.
That thing is insane. So this little one, when it came out, I was able to snag it for about $80. And if you guys are watching, you can check out my YouTube and see when I posted it. But right after I posted the video, something happened. There was a national news story that broke of somebody running into a gas station or a liquor store and just running out and stealing the Snoop bobblehead. Immediately after that, of course, the collector world went crazy, ran to eBay, and then the price jumped up to where the little one has sold for around $350 at its highest. I've seen it. I don't know what the middle one has sold for at a high price, but I know the big one we've seen go for, what was that?
So, you know, here's the interesting thing. For one went for $2,150. So $2,150. However, it looks like there was a non-buyer and they relisted it. So what I've seen them actually sell at is anywhere from $1,500 to maybe $900 on the low end. What I wanted to share with you, what's really interesting, I've seen probably, this is actually to me more the unicorn from an availability standpoint, which is kind of crazy. So the one I saw and I got it, and I messaged him privately and we worked out a deal. And then I think I've maybe seen one other since they've released, and that's it.
Damn.
Where I've seen maybe 8 of these, and we've seen tons of those. So I think it's just an interesting thing that 18-inch one is kind of becoming, or it's at least not available now. And then the other thing I want to throw out, I think I shared with you that picture on the carton. I think they made how many of these? About 5,000?
2,500, just over 2,500, like closer to 2,600.
Okay, so they made about 2,600, which is interesting. And then another fact, I ran, Corona had, or someone maybe shared it in the group, Corona had on their website, you can enter, and 10 winners are gonna win this bobblehead next year. Oh, you actually have the picture. All right, how much the number?
It's 2,598.
Wow, what a weird number, huh?
Yeah, it's interesting. Just 2,600. It's 43 inches, and that breaks down to, what is that, 3 foot?
7 inches.
3 foot 7 inches. So over 3.5 feet tall. That is insane. So what are your plans for this thing? Are you gonna keep it? I know you took it driving around with you.
Don't tell anyone, that didn't happen. I can tell you that it was the life of the party when I pulled up to, I think I went to Louisiana Fried Chicken, believe it or not. That's an LA staple, and they have one in Arizona. And when I pulled up, the girls were dying laughing when I pulled up. That's so it was hysterical. But as far as plans for it, you know what? Maybe there's a local collector or someone or a shop or something that can utilize it. I think this is too big for a home. You know, I don't have a huge house and a big, media room and all that stuff. So I don't think I'll keep it long term, to answer your question. I think I was and I don't mind sharing specifics. You okay with I share specifics on pricing?
Whatever you're comfortable with, bro.
Okay, cool. So I saw this, long story short, I think I got it for $500.
Which is a steal. Which is a steal.
Yeah. Which is a steal long term, and then shipping $600. So, I'm in at $600, and it's but to me, it was low enough number that it was, okay to, what I mean, versus getting stuck with something, spend like $1,500 and not knowing if I want to keep it. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So, I mean, the crazy thing is after you put me onto there being this size of the bobblehead, I started Googling to see what size bobbleheads have been released in the past. And apparently like around the 3-foot range is a common thing, but it's usually with sports. Yep.
I saw that in sports mascots too, which is interesting.
And sports mascots, I didn't even know. And it's crazy because bobbleheads are like one of the oldest forms of promotional items. They've been around for over 100 years, right? Mm-hmm. Something of that nature, which is kind of crazy. I have a bunch of hip hop bobbleheads that I've acquired throughout the years, and I like them. I think they're pretty dope. My favorite one is my Sean Price bobblehead that I have. That's a pretty dope one. And you know what? Snoop has a ton of bobbleheads as well.
Yeah. He has that King's one, right?
Yeah, he has that King's one. He has the one you have. I feel like there's another one that I'm not remembering right now. But I think Snoop definitely has a ton of bobbleheads. I feel like Snoop might be equal to Pac and Biggie in terms of amount of merch. I feel like maybe even more than Pac.
Even more. I think now at this point, and here's what I would say. I would say more, and I know for a fact, because I have some search alerts saved on eBay by those 3 artists. And then I have some saved searches, and the hits for Snoop is a lot more than both of them. So I can firsthand, because I was, looking for this. So I had to kind of learn the market, if you would. What I wanted to share, just for informational sake, I'm going to grab that other Snoop bobblehead you mentioned. So this was the one you were kind of talking about. It was made by Urban Heads, I believe. So and again, just for accuracy, because I know a lot of this is historical purposes of the hip hop art culture, if you would. They also made one with him against the wall with 2 dogs.
Right.
From Urban Heads, which is, I would love to get at one point. And then they made another one of him like this, but he's wearing a do-rag and he's just kind of just standing there. So I think Urban Heads made 3, and then the LA Kings, and then the Coronas. But Snoop toys in general, if it wasn't for him, there wouldn't be a lot of West Coast art toys, if you would.
Facts. I mean, he is a marketing and licensing monster. Like, there is nothing that like this guy does not do, and you gotta respect that, especially like where he came from. You know what I'm saying? And then to become this huge businessman, I think that's extremely admirable, and he's definitely has taken advantage of every blessing and every opportunity that has been put in front of him. I definitely look up to that. I think that's super incredible.
Yeah, I think to your point, he's so in front of the media, whether it be TV shows, Olympics, Martha Stewart, it's very easy to get over Snoop, if you would, maybe through the 20, 30 years that he's been relevant. But to your point, just the fact that he's been relevant, the staying power, you know, I think, again, puts him in legendary status along with Tupac and Biggie long-term and Nas, and everyone can debate, but I think he's just a legend for sure.
For sure. I mean, look, Tupac and Biggie are dead. They became legends immediately after they died. Whether they would have been on that same trajectory or not,
who knows?
You'll never know.
We won't know.
Right? They died legends. They died they died before their time. But you know, one thing you can say about Snoop is that, yeah, you can, if you're that type of person, which definitely exists a lot in hip hop, because people tend to like, you know, hip hop is very kind of like in the moment, what's new, right? There are no acts in hip hop that are treated like the Rolling Stones, right? Mm-hmm. When have the Rolling Stones dropped a radio hit, right? When in the past 20 years, 30 years, I don't even know when their last quote unquote hit record was. You in hip hop, you have to consistently drop a hit record. Otherwise, you're not praised anymore. You're not, you know, people forgot about the Lox until they just did this live the versus battle. Now everybody is talking about the Lox like they were never not dope, you know.
Right. So and then their individual albums, the sales, you know, good for them. But it's kind of crazy the society we're in. Like you said, it's so hot flash, you know, and unfortunately, usually it's someone passing away like Nipsey. Their record sales shoot up. So I guess in a way it's a good thing that Versus, you know, provides that platform that everyone can now appreciate these artists and get it, you know, better late than never, right?
Versus Drink Champs is another one. I don't know if do you ever watch the Drink Champs podcast?
I don't. One of my sons does though, and he's a big follower. He tells me about it.
I've been I know EFN personally. I have a poster up there that you can't see, but I know EFN personally from Drink Champs. I met Nori a bunch of times. Nori runs in the circle of people that I ran with back in the day, and his engineer was my engineer for almost every one of these projects right here, including my record over there. So there's like, you know, 1 degree of separation between Nori. I also sold some dry weed to Nori a long time ago, which is one of those things.
I think you mentioned that.
Which is one of those things that I know we were talking before we started recording about being young and regretting. I should have probably just gave him the weed for free. That's how bad it was.
So you can't bring that up without saying, what did he give? Can you even remember? Did he give you any look like, what the is this?
No, Nori is such a cool fucking dude. He did not even say anything. Like, he was very respectful. Like, he came into I had a recording studio and a sneaker store at the time. And, you know, I wasn't making money at the recording studio because we were recording 24/7. And the sneaker store, it was just really tough. Like, you know, we had limited, and it was right when the recession hit. So I was hustling weed because, you know, I needed to pay the bills, right? I wasn't taking a paycheck home from my own store. So anyway, long story short, he came, my boy called me, he's like, yo, Nori needs some trees, He came by the shop, brought Nori, and I gave him the trees. And, you know, secretly, I was hoping to be able to do a song with Nori, you know.
Then let me just stop you then. Then what you should have done is went out and got some really good chronic and brought it to him, and then you would have done that deal. All joking aside. You know what?
Hindsight is 20/20, but
always in life, unfortunately.
In my mind at the time, it was an eighth. So like, I really needed the $50. like, you know, to me, the $50 meant the fucking world. You know, if I was able to see past that, I would have just been like, bro, this shit is whack. You can have this, right? Next time you need, call me and I'll get you some gas. You know what I'm saying? That would have been the smart thing to do, but you know, that it didn't pan out that way. And I have this story and the time that, the poster, which you can't see up here, that I have, I went to like, I think it was like a 1 year or 2 year anniversary they had of Drink Champs, and it was right down the street from my crib. So I rolled up, I saw them, and I went to Nori. I'm like, yo, Nori, I'm like, yo, I apologized to him. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm sorry for selling you dry weed. And he started laughing. And then he signed my poster for me. And then I got EFN to sign the poster. Yeah, and it's funny because their logo was, I don't know if it's this right.
I see it. Yeah.
So their logo, the Drink Champs logo, and this is a fun fact, is designed by Scam, by Scam, the guy who did Eminem's first album cover. And if you've listened to the song Stan, one of arguably Eminem's biggest hits, he mentions Scam. He says, you even have he's like, I even have the underground shit you did with Scam. Right? That's who Eminem is talking about. And that's probably one of the biggest shout outs in rap history. So Scam is a super dope rapper and a super dope artist and designer. He designed their logo as well, and he does a lot of shit for like a lot of industry people. He's done stuff for Tribe Called Quest, and so that's why. Wow, we've totally derailed from Snoop, and we're talking about something completely different. But that's why I love hip hop photography. And I'm also into like designers, like graphic designers from the hip hop culture, because before you actually popped open your album, like your Snoop album, you saw the album art. Before you listened to the album, you saw the album art. That was your first impression of what that CD was. And then if you went on and you took that CD or tape and you listened to it and it was fire, then every time you look at that artwork, you're like, holy, like the artwork is now fire.
It's heat. Perfect example. Getting back on topic with Snoop, we ordered those Bic lighters. Yep. And you got a random assortment, and there was 4 of them, and 4 Snoop, but only one of them was a doggy style one. The only one I wanted when I ordered that thing was to get the doggy style one, and then ironically, I think, you had asked me, did you get any of the doggy style ones? And I got mine later, no doggy style. So, but to the point, both of us were disappointed because the iconic was that on the lighter versus just a picture of him. Just that good memory, to your point.
Yes, and that was designed by, what's the guy's name? Joe
Cooley? Joe Cool, yeah. Joe Cool. Right, is it Joe Cool? Yeah. It's either Joe Cool or Joe Cooley, I believe, one of them.
You may be confusing Cooley High. The movie Cooley.
No, the only one I'd be confused would be Rodney O and Joe Cooley. Okay. Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay. If anyone, Rodney O and Jay Cooley is West Coast legends, and I'll just leave it at that. Please go. Oh, they sing a song called Can't Get Enough of Everlasting Bass.
Is that from like the West Coast bass era, like Egyptian Lover era?
It is right after Egyptian Lover, right during the Egyptian Lover. Rodney O came out in the LA, and they had a song called Bass, Everlasting Bass. They had Supercuts, where they had anyways, I don't want to sing it, but anyways, if anyone doesn't know who Rodney O and Joe Cooley is, definitely do them a look up. They're West Coast unknown, I don't say underground, but they're West Coast legends for sure.
So they were part of that whole Wrecking Crew era and stuff like that. Where pretty interesting. That whole era, that whole West Coast era of like bass, Miami had its own version, and even New Jersey had like the freestyle stuff that and all the bass from all those coasts, even Detroit as well, and they all had their own versions, and it was all kind of like jumbled into like freestyle. Like, I don't know if they still play any of the stuff in like old school mixes on the radio in LA, but in Miami you still have freestyle. Like there's like, I haven't listened to the radio in a long time, but last I remember they had like a 12 o'clock or like a lunchtime freestyle or like Miami bass mix and stuff like that. So
nice.
Pretty damn interesting. So dude, you gotta send me video. You gotta send me, is this thing still recording? Yeah, okay. You gotta send me footage of your Snoop figure in the car. Like I want to show people what that looks like. That is so fucking hilarious. That is funny, man. Well,
I will definitely do that. Not a problem.
what's next in like your collecting realm? I know you say you're gonna keep it to those 3 cases. I personally don't
Well,
believe.
it's actually 6, so it's those 3 and then these 3.
Didn't you have a bunch of kicks too, like sneakers in cases?
Yeah, and so I moved the kicks. They're just, I wear them now more. Exactly right. And then my Star Wars figures I don't have displayed anymore.
Why is
So,
that?
because these took over the space.
So where are your
because I'm so disciplined at what I shared. I just want to keep it to these 6 cases.
So where are your Star
so
Wars
I think what's next, huh?
Where are your Star Wars figures?
They are in storage underneath my bed. So they're not being enjoyed. But my wife has said, because she loves Star Wars, and she loves hip hop as well. But she was like, we should put it in the hall, put some cases in the hall where you have other things, right? By the bathroom. Well, we have pictures, stuff like that.
I told you your collection was gonna grow bigger than those cases.
But you know what? For hip hop, you know what? Because now it's just what's new, and then what maybe we get done right with B-Boy Blacks and you're right. I should take that back. There's always going to be new stuff. So my thought is just to recycle and curate my collection. What I did was, and I'll just be brief, is I really what I got left now is what I really feel like is heat to me. Like it was a lot of work to obtain, not only the cost, just the effort and the amount of years trying to track something or whatever. And so, but I feel, and I look at it and I was like, yeah, to your point, Snoop, that's my album. That's that. It's just each one has a memory, and it's just but it's heat. And so I've kind of sold off or whatever some of the little minor pieces. So what's new for me, I think, is maybe I don't know, improving some of the photography and videos, just so people can be able to, enjoy it from different angles. So I think maybe if there's ways I can showcase or highlight each piece, because I noticed for me, one thing is I'll do a picture of kind of a shelf, but it's not highlighting that piece per se. So yeah. I may just take time, because I have a lot of stuff. But it looks like a little bit, because it's always just pictures of a little section, right? But there's a lot of individual pieces in there. So
what I do like about your collection, and I feel like every collector should really do this, is the display. Like, you got to display your stuff right to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with my display. My display is a temporary solution. I want to do like a whole renovation of my office and be able to fit everything, because I definitely have the room here. I have high ceilings that I could take advantage of. These IKEA cases are just not doing it for me. They just end up as a place to just start shoving stuff. And a matter of fact, my West Coast shelf is so cram-packed that I can't even lift things out of that shelf without almost knocking something over.
Yeah. Dude,
no,
it's whatever. But for me, again, I do like it having orderly, and having it where I just look at it every day and I like what I see, and then I'll look and say, I'm gonna move it over here. I'm gonna go get why don't we go get a Source magazine blown? Oh, so I made the little things. So the Source magazine or Vibe magazine with all the death row artists. Yeah. I'm getting that done in like a 15-inch scale for a 12-inch figure or larger, and then maybe have them displaying the Vibe magazine cover. Just little different things like that.
What about, I know you've invested in some photography and lighting stuff. One thing I want to do, and like, I'm not secretive about this stuff, because this is fun. And I don't mind if people, do things if they're inspired by what I do or what we do. Because at the end of the day, it's like, it's not a competition. I'm not in any kind of mad rush to get credit for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want, there's that diorama guy, the guy who does the dioramas, Diaz Diorama. Is Diaz Diorama?
These dioramas, yeah.
That guy is fire. I've been talking to him about getting a diorama that is as big as a light box that could probably do, some of these figures or most of these figures, because, man, That I feel like that is what I'm completely missing here, especially for like my photo shoots and for my content.
Yeah, that would, like you said, that because I think you may have mentioned it, and I'm certainly appreciate Deez's work, but I thought about that as well. My challenge is it's always kind of the scale, meaning the figures, they vary from 3 3/4 inch to this, or 18 inches maybe is kind of the normal biggest one for the most part, right? So it's like finding the right scale to have universals, kind of what stopped me from just going and getting stuff done.
Maybe it's maybe the solution is getting a couple done.
Yeah, and unfortunately I knew that's what it was. Yeah. And so that's why it's kind of like, and so you know what, when you talk about maybe what's next, is because from a collecting standpoint, and you know, and I'll turn it to you in a second, but really I think that Beastie Boys Sasquatch, you know, to go with the Beastie Boys, that's the only thing I know of that was made that I don't have. And so I like to obtain that, right? But to your point, focusing on the dioramas and different things, that's something I did think about as well. And so that's maybe something I pursue. But flipping it back to you, what would you say? Oh, so would you say what's next for you is getting that room situated what you want? Or is there other kind of collecting goals you have?
You know, to be honest with you, I set this goal.
Please be honest.
You know, I set this goal of doing a video a day for a year. Yeah. In my mind, it felt like something that I could do, and it is something that I am doing, and I haven't missed a day. But it's very, very taxing. It's to the point where like I can't keep myself as organized with my collection as I want to be. Right? I can't dust as frequently. I can't, you know, I'm always moving things. Half of my room is a photo shoot, you know, setup. And then the other half I work in, because this is my office as well. And these things are kind of inspire me. So like, I want to redo this, but I don't think I would be able to do anything until I'm done filming 365 videos.
Got it.
And that is the honest truth. Like I can't even, you know, I'm having a hard time even keeping up with releases. Like there's things that slide under the radar that I miss that I want to get. There's things that I just can't afford because like I'm spending a shit ton of money making this happen because I've set a very ambitious goal, you know. But I'm having fun, you know, like I like the challenge. And at any point I could just sell some of these things, recoup my money, probably get profit back for it. Now, what would I sell? Man, I have no idea. You know, because ultimately my mind goes to like, I would sell the bigger things first, things that are worth more money to get more money back, and then do stuff with it. But then those are some of the things that I like the most. So,
but attachment to, because they were hard to get, usually, not always, but usually.
Yeah, they were hard to get, and I found them at a deal. You know, they were hard to get, and I found them at a deal. Maybe when people weren't looking for them, and I realized as you put out content, and some of the people in the circles that we travel in put out content, and I put out content, what we end up doing is raising the value of these things because we're making more people aware, and they now want these things, and now they're looking for it. So when something pops up, one, you're gonna battle the people who are looking for it at the same time, and you might have to pay the premium. But you know, I guess all's fair, and what is it? Love and
war.
Love and hip hop.
Love and war.
Yeah.
Love and hip hop. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's interesting. I never even thought about that. I never went there in my mind to say that would help. Like thinking that I could influence, or even the small collecting group on Instagram could influence the market at all or long term. But it is so niche, like you said. It is so niche. Yet hip hop is so big. In the end, that's kind of what you're going to do, right? Or I'll give you the perfect example. I shared with you, you did your Nipsey video on the Nipsey card. So I had another one, and I listed it because that didn't fall in my genre, 80s, 90s, old school hip hop. Not that I don't like him, but again, I'm just trying to put guardrails on me because material things aren't that important. And then I think that's the biggest thing why I'm trying to say 6 cases is because I'm just, from a materialistic thing, I always fight that. It's just where I'm at personally.
It's a hobby.
Want to have, It is, but you've seen different levels of hobbies, right?
Right.
And so again, that's why my containment is this era, this, and what works for different people works for different people, right? But for me, it puts reins on me to control me from spending. So I listed it on eBay, the card, and just for numbers sake, I think I had it at $120. Just do it on there, right? And then I had a bunch of followers, and then I actually ended up, I think I saw your video, and I just took the listing down. I said, you know what, long term, this is on Nipsey's only card, and it's a dope looking card too, right? And that whole deck is full of rappers that we don't know of, mostly, right? So I just thought, man, this is just a dope card to have. Some guy contacted me, a couple guys contacted me. Do you have any more Nipsey cards? Do you have any more Nipsey cards? One of them saw your video. He says, yeah, I saw this guy's video on YouTube, and he ain't lying. This thing's hard to find, and it's expensive. So one small real life example, someone's contacting me on eBay, not knowing we know each other at all, but your video drove them wanting to look for that card. So it's small world. That tells you how small it is, right?
It's crazy. It is small. And like, I think Nipsey is dope. I've liked Nipsey for a while, so I've been a fan of his, but that card pack, it's so interesting that he came out in that card pack. It kind of blows my mind, because there were some random people. There was like Trick Daddy in there. Yep. There was no Snoop.
40.
Yeah.
I know them all because I'll show you. I've been starting collecting the cards. But here's another one that blows my mind that's in there, and it's only going for, like, I've seen it sell for, take this back. I only know one other person who's on Instagram, a friend, that is selling these, but it's the YG.
Oh, that's from the same Platinum League, right?
Same Platinum League, but look real good. It's a dope looking card.
That is pretty dope.
And we're getting off topic, but I think I got a couple of them. I think I have 4 total of the YGs.
All the same ones?
Yeah, because I'm like, this thing, there's no market for it. The only person out there is the one guy. And then let me just show you the last ones.
I might need one of those off of you.
Oh,
the Mobb Deep, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
You asked me about that one. Yeah, so I have an extra one of Mobb Deep.
Cool.
Again, it's like, dude, it's a dope looking card.
Yeah, that is dope. That is super dope.
And then they had Trick Daddy. So from Miami. I
think, when you sent me that stack of cards, I think there's a Trick Daddy in that one. The original stack.
Then that's a score for you.
I'm not gonna lie, I definitely you definitely have hooked me up with a bunch of stuff, a bunch of dope things.
And it's not even worth bringing up. It's
no, but
my whole thing is collectors being solid to each other, because it is such a small group. That's really all that really matters. But while you're looking,
you put me onto some things though, that I think I feel like I found your page while searching for things to buy a while ago. Who's that, the Brat?
Yeah, but look at the graphics on the card. It's a good looking card, which is kind of a trip.
They did really good with this. I don't know, like, I can't. It's a.
And Willie D.
Yeah, that's fire. But you see, then they had guys like this. Shane.
He just goes by Shane.
They had guys like that and a bunch of people that, like, I have no idea who these people. I thought they were like from different countries.
Yeah.
I
know that of Shell, Snell or Shell?
Shell.
So I know of note in that Platinum League, the short version is Mobb Deep, Nipsey, YG, Snoop, Pac Big,
Willie D, Mano, and Glasses Malone. Those are the only 3 guys I know. I don't have a Trick. Do you have any extra Trick Daddies?
I don't.
Okay.
No. But if I do, I'll let you know. But I do have, I got a couple more packs that I opened, and I have some smaller ones. I don't think there was a Trick Daddy in there, but I'll let you know what I got. But what I really need out of that pack, that section is E40.
Yeah.
And Scarface.
Yes. The only problem I have with like, let's say even like the Willie D, I feel like it's just too modern. If it didn't say Willie D on it, I would not recognize him.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to question myself. I'm like, is that Willie D, like the Willie D?
Yeah.
But,
no, I agree. But again, what I did is I'm just pulling the ones 80 or 90s that I want to set aside, or who I think are going to be like YG again. If the card's only going for 20 or 20, I don't know what the market is because only one person's selling it. I could just talk about what I got it for, which is not a lot.
Yeah.
But the Nipsey's selling again for, I think right now it's selling for $200 to $300 in that range.
That's great.
So the guy was offering me $225. The guy that contacted me that saw your show.
Yeah.
He was talking about $225 just as an FYI, because I told him I didn't want to sell it. So that's kind of the market right now. But if Nipsey's $225 and YG is just as difficult to get in the pack, from what I could tell, because I opened 12,
there's
14
boxes.
packs.
I guarantee you, there's a lot of those boxes laying around somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere where someone doesn't even think they're worth listing.
Yeah. Well, I know Hip Hop Autographs on Instagram. I know he has a sealed box. He was showing me. I went live one time. I think the only time I went live. He was telling me about, because he mentioned the Rock the Bell cards, Hip Hop Autographs.
Didn't those boxes go on clearance as well?
Yeah, he mentioned they were at Kmart.
And liquidated too. So
just super liquidated the prices. It was like
they're
insane.
Somewhere, and I'm gonna find them. Listen, on that note, I'm gonna have to end this because we could go on for hours and hours and hours. Might as well start our own podcast.
There you go.
Listen, it has been a pleasure. It always is a pleasure. Where can people find you on Instagram? What's your handle?
AKA _ the Big Kahuna, DABIG, and then Kahuna.
That's it. So thank you guys for watching No Hype. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If we missed anything, which I doubt we missed anything, please leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you, and make sure to follow us on all your social media platforms. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Hey, Amazon came. More packages. I kid you not. Listen. And it's stuff from my collection. Listen, the dogs are going, listen.
What do you got coming?
That's what goes on around here, just so you know.
The dogs bark because you're getting packages.
Peace, everyone.
Peace.